Marty. Hello, everyone. Just like the intro says, just Marty today, your host of Local Sports Wrap-Up. Today is March 14th, 2022. My buddy Ken has an appointment today on Monday. And busy day. The brackets came out. Your favorite team, State, got in, and your favorite team, Michigan, got in. A lot of people complaining. The seeds they got, that Michigan doesn't belong at 16-4. And I will just say that Ken probably has a lot to say about that. 16-14, sorry, not 16-4. But that being said, they're in. There's been teams with worse records got in by name alone, and that might be part of it. Don't forget to get a hold of me, Local Sports Wrap-Up. Haven't checked that email in a week or so, so I'll get on that. Also, you can watch us on YouTube. So we're going to start out with some hockey, and it's not Red Wing hockey, it's Trenton hockey. Last Thursday, the Trenton team went at USA Arena and took down Brother Rice. With 2:53 remaining in the third period, Trenton's Hayden Oboza, he scored, and then he added an empty netter when they pulled their goal. They gave him a 3-2 lead, and Brother Rice had beaten them earlier in the season, and it was nice revenge. I'll say this, that put Trenton into the finals. That was their 8th win in their previous 10 games, and their season was 18-11 for the year. Brother Rice, I'm not sure what their record was, but a minute earlier, Brother Rice had tied the game up as it was getting late there on that Thursday game for 2-2. But it only took about a minute, and Trenton retook the lead. And all I could say is it was probably rocking in there. It's a nice small arena, seats a third of what the big arenas seat, and it must have been great. So they take that momentum and they go into playing on Saturday in the championship game against Heartland. Now they had played Heartland a couple times earlier, and funny thing is, they had played Heartland in 2014, and they won that one. And then Heartland played Trenton in 18 and 19, and Heartland were state champs that time. So we went into this game, and Trenton took an early 1-0 lead in the first period, and then Heartland tied the game in the second period and scored a goal in the third period to take a 3-2 lead. I mean a 2-1 lead. And with 1:32 left in regulation, Hayden Oboza, again, he must be their stud, as my old buddy Ken would say. And he ripped a perfect shot past goaltender Cam Reagan, tied things up 2-2 in the state championship. Now, Trenton had a power play late in the game, and that gave them the man advantage. They decided to pull their goalie, give them a 6-4 advantage, and like 15 seconds later, after they pulled their goalie, again with 1:32 left in the game, they scored. And they hadn't scored in 35 minutes, so that must have been great. Then they went into overtime. They resurfaced the ice, so there's about a 15-minute break, and then you go into overtime. You got an 8-minute overtime period, and 30 seconds in, Trenton gets a penalty. They end up killing off that penalty, and goaltender stood on his head. I mean, he made 31 out of the 34 stops. He made 31 saves. Some of them huge. In fact, in regulation, there was a save he made. He kicked his foot out. Unbelievable. They could have lost it in regulation. But they were outshot in overtime 7-0, and with roughly 4 minutes left in the overtime, the Trenton kid took a shot. I saw this on Facebook. The Heartland boy took a shot from the point. Goalie stopped it, but the rebound kicked off to the side, and there was a Heartland kid over there on the side, and he buried it. And that was the end of the game. Like I said, they were outshot 7-0, and it's a huge accomplishment for Trenton, just based on the fact that they started the year 2-5, and they finished the year 18-12. So they came together at the right time. Their coach even said so, towards the end of the year. What they were doing all season really wasn't showing any results. But that being said, the coach and the seniors on the team, they're like, stick with it. It's going to pay off. And eventually it did. Now, it'll be curious to see what happens next year, because Trenton has 8 seniors leaving the team. And it'll be interesting to see how they rebound with that. They've got a handful, obviously, of freshmen and juniors that will get to step up. But as I know, coaching bowling, as you keep replacing people, your reserves have to be solid. And but I give the coach credit. I'd have his name here, but unfortunately, my printer didn't work very good on this one. See that? And I lost half of the thing. So that is what that is. Congrats to Trenton, runner-up finish. That's not bad, considering where they were a month ago even. They get all the credit in the world. We'll switch over. I'll switch over to basketball. There is no we here today, if you haven't noticed. And we will keep this rolling. Maybe I will talk slower and it will last longer. Anyway, cracking myself up. The Riverview girls did an accomplishment that had never been done for their school ever before. They won their first ever regional title. And they were trailing by 11 points at the end of the third period. And one of their kids, Alyssa Kincaid, she hit a shot and cut it to 9. And the third quarter ended, and they were down 9. And started the fourth quarter, and the Riverview team ran off 13 unanswered points. So they suddenly, they were on a roll. And obviously Divine Child couldn't do anything, and they won the Division I Region 6 final. Down the stretch it got tight, but the final score was 59-50. So apparently Divine Child kept stepping up and making their free throws, and never really let Divine Child in the game. Riverview stepped up and make the field goals. And their coach, Riverview's coach, Rob Sauter, it's their first time getting there, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the time. Now they got to win one more game. If they can win one more game, they will get to the quarterfinals, and that will be at the Breslin Center over at MSU, since the NCAA has kicked off their brackets. There will be no more games at the Breslin Center. And standing in Riverview's way of a trip to the Breslin Center will be Wayne Memorial, and that will be tomorrow, Tuesday. That game will be on the 15th. Does it say where? It does not say where. But Riverview, a pretty solid team. Overall, they're 20-4, and they're the first downriver team to win a regional title, believe it or not, since 2015, which I find hard to believe. It's at Ypsilanti Lincoln. Okay, they will take on Wayne Memorial on Tuesday, March 15th. The winner of that game will head to East Lansing 3 nights later, so the 18th, that's Friday night. Yep, Friday night. And they'll play the state semifinal against either Midland, Dow, or Heartland. There's that Heartland school again. I remember when I coached JV hockey, we played up in Heartland a lot. There were three schools playing up there. And they were always solid in hockey too. But we were solid also. So it was always a good game. It was always a tight game. And but it's an hour road trip to play before a game, and we didn't have school support, so there was no bus. We just We just all drove, we carpooled, everybody got up there, and then we played the game. So the good old days. About 10 years ago was when I coached JV hockey. So moving along, we go to the boys now. And Lincoln Park took on Allen Park and beat them in overtime to capture the district title. That Division I District 22 champs. Boys are a little behind the girls because they're not to the regionals yet. This game was nuts. This game, the final was 32-31, which I know defense wins games, but it went into overtime, tied at 29. And who'd have thunk? Lincoln Park scores 3 points in overtime, a 5-minute overtime, and they win the game. And apparently the ball for Allen Park, guy got an offensive rebound underneath on the last shot of the game and threw it back up. And you ever see the way the ball will get on the lip and kind of hang there and just hang there and just hang there, and then it falls off instead of in? That's how close that game was to Allen Park winning the districts. But one of the kids, Lincoln Park's Lucci Carpenter, he finished with 15 points, and he had all 3 in overtime. So he had half the points for Lincoln Park. And the Rails will advance to play the Division I Region 6 semifinal on Monday against Woodhaven at River Rouge. That's probably going to be a great game. That's going on right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's this thing I just talked about. The kid's name was Adrian Putnam, and he got the rebound and threw it up. And for the Rails, the district championship came after they had just missed out on a Downriver League championship. They were leading. They were ahead of Woodhaven by a game. Me and Ken discussed that a couple times, that all they had to do was win out, and they would have the league championship. But they dropped a game by a point to Southgate Anderson that they probably would like to have back. And Woodhaven won their last game of the year and put them in second place. So that was one that got away. So, but, it's a nice rebound as Lincoln Park beats Allen Park in OT. And now they're district champs, which they can never take away from you, the district championship. You will always have that. That's one thing I tell the girls about my league championship, and I tell any team that. Lincoln Park girls won the regional championship in bowling, and I went up to their team and I said, this is something that you'll never be able to take it away. Your name will be on that trophy in the school for history. And that was the first regional title in Lincoln Park since, I think they said 16 years. That's crazy. And then the Rails are set to play Lincoln Park. They're playing right now, 5:30 Monday. It's 6:30 here, so they're already going. I wonder how it's going. They're at River Rouge. The winner of that game will play either Detroit Cass Tech, or Dearborn High on Wednesday for the championship. So we got Woodhaven or Lincoln Park against Cass Tech or Dearborn High on Wednesday for the regional championship here downriver. Good luck to everyone involved. On the boys' side, I got one more basketball game. Ecorse took on Gabriel Richard in a Division III district semifinal. I'm not sure who got to this district, but the host Red Raiders and Gabriel Richard played as the state's 2 top contenders for the D3 overall, and it lived up to the billing. We just talked about a 31-30 game over here, or 32-31. This game here, 73-71, with Ecorse taking it to Gabriel Richard, who, by the way, had won the last 4 or 5 districts out there. It was the first win for the Raiders over Richard since the district title game in 2017, when they had a 5-member Jimmy King back in the day. He was heading the Ecorse program. They would have met last year in 2020 But there's this thing called COVID-19 that kind of shut down everything. We were lucky. We got done with our state finals on the 5th, and I think by the 7th, everything was shut down. Funny, though, E-Course officially only has 5 wins this year. And Gabriel Richard was 20-0. Okay, but the game was played at E-Course, just randomly. And interesting, E-Course had this is where I wish Ken was here. E-Course had to forfeit a bunch of their games. That's why they officially only had 5 for using an ineligible player. That's pretty vague, ineligible player. Is that grades? Is that kid's 22 years old and shouldn't be in high school at all? Just kidding. It's just, but it was a comeback victory for the Raiders. Richard got off to a hot start. They were leading by 11 early and through the first quarter. But then E-Course got hot. E-Course got hot and kept making baskets. And play a little bit of, I mean, it was 73-71. I'm not sure how many high school games get to that number. But again, Gabriel Richard was 20-0. You know, that was their first loss. And E-Course trailed by 5 at the half, and then they just took off. They kept staying ahead, staying up. They had a 1-point lead going into the 4th, 54-53, and then they held on. They held on for a 73-71 win. So the future of those games are going to be played, I think they go to Yipsy also. Thank you very much. Baseball's starting up. Oh, baseball weather outside today. Golf weather outside today. 60 degrees as I came here. I got one too many shirts on for being outside. And I could play golf in this weather. The our high school, Wyandott's going to kick off on 3/23. You got to imagine that they don't have the team even set yet. But I'm sure they know who's returning and they know who the kids that played some JV last year, and if they got a good report from the coaches on JV, if there's any communication going on there at all, that he knows exactly who he's bringing up and how many pitchers he has. Softball, I'm not so sure how that works. I got one more feel-good story, and then my day here is going to end. My buddy, Chris Simons, coaches Taylor basketball. He's in charge of the varsity. He's in charge of the JV. He's in charge of the program. Now, Chris is a great guy. Runs a golf outing every year, raises money for that program. But he has a kid with cerebral palsy. Is that how you say it? Yes. And is that about right there? And he's had the kid on the team the whole year. Now, the one thing about having handicaps of some sort is your brain still works, your body just isn't capable. But this kid comes to practice, he runs the line drills, he does everything he can do at his level, and they let him. And this whole feel-good story that I stole from the Mellis, and thank you, Frank, they let the kid push, with 2 minutes left in the game, the last game of the season, they let the kid on the court to make a hoop. And I think it's great because it took him a couple shots, but everybody stood around and cheered him on once it went on. And even the other team, it's a meaningless last game of the season, and they put the kid in. It was great. Oh, I got it on 2 sides here. No wonder. Can't figure it out. It was Lincoln Park in Taylor, and I just want to say it was a JV game, but I think it's great. I think it's great that Chris did that, and he got a lot of ink in the Mellis here about the whole thing, and it's just a feel-good story. Caleb Davenport, cerebral palsy. Thank you. I said it right. But anyway, Caleb, great for you. He says the kid helps him coach. The kid dogs the other players out because, he knows he can't do it as great, but he dogs out the really good players when they're this whole article is a great read in the Mellis. You can get it online. And I just wanted to end the day with that feel-good story. And they let him out there. He made the shot, And Chris, I give you credit for that one. He runs the program. He's not the head coach of the JV, but he runs the whole program, and his JV takes his instructions from him. So, quick show. I didn't talk slow enough, but that being said, next week me and Ken will be back. We'll have some regional finals for everybody in basketball, and again, the spring season. We got about 2 weeks, and we'll talk Final Four. We'll talk early rounds of the NCAA. And I'm Marty Janeski, and I just want to say I hate doing this show by myself, but you know what? I'm going to do this show till I don't want to do it anymore. Thanks for watching, and hi, Mom, and I will see everyone in 1 week.